a lot to discuss with you, including your latest venture.
We have a lot to talk about. The edge of space bothers me right away. That bothers me. I was in space. Well, that could be the edge.
Okay, let's send you. You were there. You were absolutely there. And in fact, you wrote an essay.
I was in space.
You wrote an essay about your experiences there that really, really struck me. And I'm going to get to that in a second. But first, I just want to ask you, because we just had these historic hearings last week on Capitol Hill. What did you make of those hearings and the fact that UAPs, as they're now called, are being discussed, by witnesses under oath in Congress?
It's just, in my mind, it's ridiculous. You mean some highly intelligent being goes 10,000 light years with advanced technology, arrives here and hides? Doesn't make any sense. If something could reach the Earth, they would make a big to-do about, my gosh, there's life in other places. And there is life in other places. Mathematically, there has to be. In this universe, there has to be multiple places that are filled with life. Life like that, that's like on our planet, burgeoning and demanding attention and demanding to be alive. But if they're going to make that journey all the way here, it just beggars the imagination that they would hide and make it peekaboo. I'm here. No, I'm not. It doesn't make any sense.
You were part of a documentary called A Tear in the Sky that looked to find evidence of UFOs and UAPs. What did you learn in that?
That the evidence is filled with imagination, people's desire. I mean, what could we want more than to realize that there are other intelligent, and we're maybe not quite that intelligent human beings, other life forms in the universe that have the same yearnings. What's the universe about? What's after death? I mean, the monumental questions would abound, and they would be asking the same questions, but they're not here. Because if they were here, they would make their presence known. That yearning that we're talking about goes as well to immortality. We all that's what a graveyard indicates. Put a stone there. Joe Smith was here. He lived. He's gone. Billions have come before. Billions are coming after. But here lies Joe Smith. Remember me. So the remember me, the fact that I, the human being, was here, is an eternal yearning. And I have become a member of a company called Space Crystals, which has taken this modern technology that we're talking about and taking your DNA, say, from plucking your hair and getting the hair bulbs which contains your DNA. So if you have thinning hair, that's your problem, but you would take your hair bulbs, send them to Space Crystals, and Space Crystals, the company, would make a crystal of containing your DNA, making it in space. So the enterprise of making things, experimenting with the space vehicle, they would make crystals containing your DNA. 2 crystals.
Why?
One when it comes back to Earth.
You could put them on the moon?
Well, I'm about to tell you that. One crystal you can have in your possession, and the other crystal would go on board the spacecraft going to the moon. And when it gets to the moon, that DNA, your crystal, is put on the ground, and it stays there for eternity, alongside Armstrong's footsteps, which are still there untouched by any erosion. Your crystals are there for, let's call it, immortality.
Have you managed to convince are a lot of people signing up to do this?
Well, it's a new company, and it's just happening. It's on the forefront of science, and it's part of our desire to be immortal.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.